For me, as sad as it may sound, nothing came out of chasing those dreams. Join me in my mission to help put at least 50,000 music artists on the right track to be independently successful with their music, to turn the talent that they have with their voice into gold. My name is Billy Nellis, and welcome to the Golden Voice Podcast. Boom! It's official. This is the first episode that'll take you all the way back to what actually got me sitting here talking to you today. It took a little while, but it's time. All right. Now, my definition of blowing up in the music industry was always two things. All right. Number one is getting a deal with a major record label or getting major artists on my beats. All right. So for me, as sad as it may sound, nothing came out of chasing those dreams. All right. Coming up, I made a name for myself locally out of Toronto, Canada. That's where I'm based out of. And I even met some of the bigger artists like Jadakiss, Irv Gotti, Waka Flocka, to name a few. And I've even recorded some songs with some of them. And, all of that, even though all that happened, didn't go anywhere. Right? If that's not really working for me, what should I do? I remember asking myself that question after a chicken dinner on the first day of the year, almost a decade ago. I was just sitting at the kitchen table thinking while it was still smelling like the food that I just ate, right? And what ended up happening is that back then, I remember that MySpace was getting popular, and I decided that I was going to create a profile on there and start uploading some beats so that I could, quote unquote, magically get noticed, or so that major artists I can get the attention of major artists with the power of the internet. Now, if you are a music artist, I do recommend that you put yourself on all the social media platforms that are out there that are at least popular, so that you can put your face and the same handle on there for people to, discover you, and you can get some exposure at that, right? Very important. Now, not only you have to be consistent at making the music so that you can find your voice and you can, get the quality of it up to the standards, but you have to get new listeners for your music through marketing, right? The make it and they will come mentality or mindset, that doesn't work, right? You could be the best music artist in the world making music in your basement or in your bedroom, but if nobody hears your music, the music that you're making, it's actually useless. All right. Now, the issue that I had from creating all the social media profiles that I went on on a rampage doing back then was that when somebody came across my profile, right? So they came across my music, some of my beats, and they like some stuff. There was no systematic way for me to get in touch with them over and over again so that I could continue the conversation and build a relationship with them, right? Because when you're on social media, just know that we don't own the platform that we're using, that we have our profile on. So that really was an issue for me, and that really put me on a path. So I when I started online, I learned early, right, because of that issue, that the money is in the list. I have to build an email list to market my music to. Right. And I thank God for that every single day until today, because if you know me, if you follow me for a little while, you've probably got an email from me. And this is something that I still use till today in my marketing. All right. So remember, if you are not using email marketing yet, okay, now that you're listening to the sound of my voice, right, I highly suggest that you get started from now, from today. You might be a beginner. You might not know how to go about it. And don't worry, I got you. I'm going to be sharing some strategies with you on this podcast so that you can get started on that. But The reason why I'm saying that is, for example, if anything happens to your main social media platform that you're using right now, your main channel that you're using, and they take your profile down, right? What are you going to do? You're going to lose all your followers, right? But if you're building an email list, okay, and that actually happened to me. I had one of my Instagram account that was at almost 16,000 followers, right? And Instagram decided that they disabled me for whatever reason. I appealed that. Within 24 hours, I was back up, right? So I was like, oh, phew, okay. Maybe it was a mistake or something like that. And within a week, I got shut down again. My account got disabled, and they said that I didn't follow community guidelines for whatever reason. I wasn't doing anything different. If you go check my Instagram right now, then sharing some value and being helpful and sharing my music and stuff like that. So anyways, I decided to start over again. And because I have a list, I didn't start from zero. I didn't start from scratch again, right? I didn't completely lose my audience. I could just send an email and say like, hey, I'm starting a new profile here. Follow me there, and I'll follow you back. And we're going to continue building and get that conversation going as we're moving forward. All right. So it's really important that you stay tapped in with me. And this is why I want you to subscribe to the Golden Voice podcast, because I'm going to share these strategies with you so that you can implement them with your music career, with your music business online. Right. So if you have an email address, you've seen email marketing. All right. So I'm pretty positive that, like I said, if you've been following me for a while, you've got an email from me promoting a new beat upload or a new release, right, that I've been doing, or just some knowledge that I wanted to share with you to help you out with your music career and the stuff that you've been doing independently with your music, right? Have you ever gotten an email from your favorite music artist, right? Because they wanted to promote some merch, or maybe they're going on tour, or maybe they had a new release? Well, I'm pretty positive that the answer to that is yes. So this is why I'm saying that you see email marketing, and you have to start doing that. You see what I'm saying? Like, email marketing is just everywhere, and it's still one of the most used form of marketing, at least for most of it, that is being used today. So this is why I'm pretty sure that you've seen something like this before, where a music artist that you think is not so good, or they're not making the most perfect music, but they're hitting the numbers, right? You're like, man, how are they hitting the charts? How is it that they just released a song and it's already hitting top 100, top this, top that? That's because they understand that, right? Just imagine being able to send an email to your email list, right? Or to a list of phone numbers that you have. And we're going to also talk about SMS text marketing, which I've been taking a deeper dive in, especially for at the moment that I'm talking to you right here, moving on, right? So just imagine you have a new track that you want to release, and then you get a bunch of pre-save, and then you get a bunch of streams as soon as it drops and everything. That's because you have access to those artists. They have access to a list, and this is the part of their music marketing that they understand. All right. So that put me on a path to not only be obsessed about making music, but about the music marketing. I geek out on it a lot, and this is the business side of it, right? This is what really gets me pumped up, and it wasn't easy, right? I'm going to tell you right now, and I've got a lot more to share on the subject, and at least I'm gonna be able to share my knowledge and experience with you, so that I'm gonna help you avoid the mistakes that I've made over the years, so that you don't make the same ones. All right. So I highly suggest that you stay tapped in, and let's get it rolling, man. I really appreciate you tuning into the Golden Voice podcast today. There's so many other ones out there to listen to, and I don't take your interests lightly. I really hope that what I shared with you today made sense and helped put you on the right track to be independently successful with your music. So if it did, share this podcast episode with somebody else that would need it too. Cool? Now let's take it a step further. Do you want instant notifications for when I upload new episodes? Text the word podcast to 647-277-5177. I repeat, text the word podcast to 647-277-5177, and I'll shoot you a quick text for when I upload new Golden Voice podcast episodes in the future. So thanks again for tuning in, and I will talk to you on the next one.